But
That's why I said the accountability of men is the world that we live in.
Okay.
We have to build, and that's why I said women have their roles and men have their roles. So I think like when we're talking accountability, when you're talking about men, if men are not held accountable, the world, like we ain't gonna have no roads.
Yeah.
We ain't gonna have no bridges. We ain't gonna have no buildings. We ain't gonna have a lot of things that we truly need. Now, if we're talking family, then we're talking something different. Because now the children need to be nurtured by both.
If there are.
I mean, then it's a choice. Now we're talking about choices.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Kansas Conversations. I am your host, Kyra. How are y'all doing today? Last week I was MIA. Today I'm a little here. We're gonna see how long this lasts. So I hope everybody had a beautiful, wonderful day. We are late, and I do apologize for our tardiness, but that was my fault. I can't even blame Derek this time. So let's get this party started with Mr. Roshawn Davis.
Yeah, I'm always waiting on them. Always.
Oh, Lord.
Always waiting on them.
We so
the dysfunctional ones. But then everybody want to come at me.
Oh, we dysfunctional now. Damn. Okay, that's cool. We'll be dysfunctional today.
See the shirt?
We won't be dysfunctional.
Even though we lost?
Whatever. I'm about to say,
even though we lost, we still rap.
Yeah, nah, you don't. Okay, but go ahead. Your team is your team. It is what it is.
I'm gonna always dedicate it. Always dedicate.
Ain't that wrong being dedicated. Nothing at all wrong with being dedicated to the Cowboys. It's a beautiful thing. All right, we can't do this thing without Mr. Derek the Deacon. Derek, come on and say hey to the people.
I really hope that Roshawn has taken a moment to adjust his cameras and maybe put down some tarmac over his lawn. Maybe a retaining wall, because
retaining wall.
Maybe a retaining. Maybe you should put a retaining wall up, so then they can't just come at you. They're not gonna be able to just come at your grass this time, because I know that this conversation is gonna rub a couple people the wrong way. I can already see from the numbers that are in the room that they're already ready to go left. So,
well, they can only rub you the wrong way if you're guilty of something.
No, that's not true, but we'll see. Let's see how this play out.
Shit. Well, as y'all can see, as the top rolling across the screen, we're talking about step-parent struggles. And the struggles that step-parents sometimes have with their stepchildren, with their significant other, and with the biological parent. So, let's get into it. Hello, Darlene. How are you? Hey, Pinky.
Where'd Derek go?
I don't know. Oh, Lord. I guess. Hello, Mr. Williams. We're going to start off with one video.
I don't know what happened.
Derek, do the first video.
You said start off with one video?
Yeah, start off with one.
You don't have to tell her anything. That's the whole point. You don't have to tell her nothing.
So if I see her doing something, you just say, "What is this?"
You're dealing with me. You mess with me, I mess with you. You don't mess with my kids. Okay? That's not the relationship we got. You hear from me. Don't say shit. She got a dad. You ain't gonna say shit to her. You ain't gonna say nothing to her.
I ain't trying to be a daddy at home. I just.
What are you talking about? You ain't trying to get it in. Don't tell her nothing in.
I was trying to get her not to disrespect you. You told me to do something.
I don't have you to come in here to talk to them. I'm not asking for them to have a father figure. That's not what I'm
not
asking.
trying to be no father figure in there.
No, what?
That's how I listen.
I already told him that. Your daddy already know what's going on.
Oh, now you gonna listen to that bust on the
Listen,
phone. What's
what the hell you mean a bust? Man, that's my baby daddy. What are you talking about? He's still in her life. He's active. I'm not a single mother. I got somebody else to take care of her. Her dad.
Really?
I didn't never tell you that you had to step in and be her father.
I'm not trying to be
Okay,
your
but
father.
then no, because I didn't ask you.
on the phone, but he's gonna butt in.
Hell yeah, he's supposed to. That's his child. Look at what you mean.
The relationship y'all got, he can just come in with you.
A relationship where we co-parent. We don't need another man coming in doing anything for her.
I ain't trying to do anything for her.
You sound crazy. You are. You ain't got to tell her nothing. You don't have to enforce no rules that I have already applied.
Well, if I see her doing something,
me and her dad got that.
Hey, Caroline. All right, first video. Let's jump off. Let's start off with you can't tell my child shit. Oh, this is gonna be a fun night. Let's see. Hey, what's up, Davida? Davida says she can't start some trouble.
Facts.
What time is said already?
The content of that video is hilarious to me, but it's not because it's very disrespectful. I don't know what that child did, but whatever happened, that conversation, number one, as Darlene said, should not have happened in front of that child.
I agree. But sometime it happened, but I agree.
It does. Sometimes it does happen, but it shouldn't, because that's only showing that child that they don't have to respect that step parent, because there is no boundaries. Once your mother is telling that other person in that house that's helping take care of that child that you ain't gotta do nothing for her, you ain't gotta do this, you ain't gotta, because she got a father, we don't need another parent stepping in and da 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 da. You just telling that child it's okay to disrespect that man anytime they want to, and ain't gonna be no consequences to it. And that's not right. And that happens a lot when you are a step parent, especially with mothers, because you have some fathers who are actively in their children's lives who was like on that, you better not put your hands on my kids. You better not do that to my kids. It has to be boundaries. And you're absolutely correct, Jaya. I think that when you become a step parent, or you take that role as a step parent, because everybody have to understand one thing: becoming a step parent is not an obligation; it's a choice. Somebody actually chose to be a part of you and your child's life, because they do not have to choose a woman that already has a set up family, and they don't. So Here come Thomas. So I think that when a man or a woman steps up and becomes a step parent to someone else's children, it should be a great level of respect for that other person, because that is something that they do not have to do. You can't make someone else's child another person's responsibility and then tell them that they can't discipline, they can't yell, they can't do this, they can't do that without going through the other parent, because that child live in your house. They ain't living with that parent. So that's what I have to say about that. Show them what you have to say. Because I know
This hold up. This is Derek's conversation.
No, this was yours.
No?
This is your topic.
Oh, this your topic.
I thought it was Derek's. I didn't know that this was mine.
Your topic.
No, my topic is a little spicier than this.
All right, let's do it. First, I think we need to define what discipline is, right? We need to because a lot of us define discipline as something different. I don't believe in hitting children. I don't. I don't really believe in yelling at children like that. But I know sometimes, your voice gonna carry. You're gonna have to lay down the law. Now, in a situation like this, if I'm the man of this house, and I don't believe in hitting the child, but I believe in discipline and structure. Now, taking on this role, am I supposed to allow another man's theory or the way that they do things take over my house? Am I supposed to do that? I believe that when it comes to men, the men need to have a conversation to set the ground rules and the boundaries. I think the biggest thing in this in this type of environment is boundaries. Is the boundaries. What could we do? Should we do? What are we going to do? If something happens, what's going on? Now, I listen to the mom, and I don't agree with the mom when she says you're in a relationship with me, because I've heard a lot of women say we're a package deal. My children and myself is a package deal. So do that mean just for the benefit of me taking care of your child and not disciplining your child? It doesn't work that way. Because if something is happening in my presence, me as a man that you respect, that's chosen to lead this family, I should be able to, I'll pull back the discipline thing, will give knowledge, wisdom, and understanding about what's going on to guide that child in the right direction. If you want to call it discipline, call it discipline. But if something is going on in my household, I'm going to handle it. And if not, then you can go. Because I'm not going to be held captive by another man's rules and regulations in my house if I'm a stand-up man that know how to run my household. And I'll get into the other things later. But right now with that video, I think the mother was out of line. I don't know what the father did and what the stepfather did and what the father expects as far as what disciplining is. So I'll stand down for now. Go ahead, Derek.
Woo! I agree with everything you said. The first thing is this in this case, well, I think everybody should say that the mom was way off kilter, because this was even a case of a child, an adult putting their hand on a child. He was backing and reinforcing her, backing. He was reinforcing her and backing up her by telling the young lady to not be disrespectful to her mother and listen to her mom. And then you turn around and jump down my throat when I'm backing you up. Oh, you good? I'm out. We don't even need to have any more conversation. We don't need to talk about it. I don't need to we good. Like you know what? You can have it. You don't even need to call your dad. Don't even call your dad. You good? It's my go on there and do what you want to do. Let me grab my stuff. I'm gonna head on out. I am before I leave. I'm taking all the light bulbs that I bought. I'm taking all the light bulbs out. I'm leaving. Like we're not gonna play this. Like we're not gonna play this game where you already know how I get down. So you already know every light bulb I bought is coming out that house. Like no, now you need your phone. Call your dad. Call your daddy. Tell your daddy to run by Walgreens or Walmart and pick you up 32 light bulbs, because all the light bulbs in this house gotta go.
Derek, you with them damn light bulbs, I swear to God.
Every last light bulb is gone. But this is an ongoing issue, and I spent a good portion of my evening trying to find this situation happening in another culture. And and maybe they don't get on social media with their business. But sometimes, maybe at some point, we got to learn to stop putting social media into our business too, then, because this is a running record. We have people, we have adults who have been affected by trauma now raising children and traumatizing them. At some point, we're gonna have to stop the madness.
Yeah, everything don't belong on social media. I mean,
I think it's twofold, though. I think it's twofold, to be honest. African American households have the highest rate in single parent and step parent households. It is at 80%.
Mm-hmm.
Other cultures, they don't. So it may just be it's just not as rampant as it is in our culture, and putting it on social media the way that it is. It may just be both.
mm-hmm.
I can agree with that.
Yeah.
I just think the situation is crazy. I think it's the craziest of situations now. We can prepare a great rebuttal and debate for physical discipline, but for me to not have a word in the house that I bring money into and resources into is bonkers.
It's not going to happen, because a man provides and protects more than just money and physicality. His wisdom, his knowledge, his understanding, his guidance. It's more than just, finances. I mean, so
when you become a step parent, I think that depending on the type, because all step parents ain't good step parents. We all know this, but I think when you come into a child's life, and even if the other parent is presently active in their life, and you become a step parent, I think that it first of all take a lot just to take on somebody else's kids, but it's a bond that parent is making with that child. So if they have a good bond and they get along well, then I feel like it should be, everybody should be able to come together and have that conversation about the kid. Even though this is your house and things like that, it has to be boundaries to that parent that does not live there and the parent that does. Because we all know how it is. You hit my kid, you call me like, oh, they hit me for no reason. You don't even know what the situation was. You just getting a phone call from your kid saying, oh, this person hit me and I didn't do nothing. Even though we all know our children and they did something that they needed to be disciplined for, but they're mad. So now I'm going to call the parent that don't live here to start some crap.
Yeah.
I can see that.
Yeah, but it doesn't make it right, because now that child has no boundaries. And you being a parent that does not live there, you don't come into somebody else's home on some old rah-rah shit. You find out what happened, and y'all have a conversation about it. If that child ain't dead bleeding on the ground, then it wasn't that serious. If somebody yelled at you, or they just put you, or they punished you until your mama came home or your daddy came home, it ain't that serious. We are the ones that make the littlest thing into the biggest situation, instead of learning how to talk to one another and getting along for the child's sake. Not just for our sake, but for the child's sake. Because you're showing that child blatant disrespect. That it's okay to just go and call daddy every time you get disciplined by your stepfather. Or you call your mama every time you get disciplined by your stepmother.
I get it.
You showing that kid no boundaries. I never acted like that with my stepfather. I don't even consider my stepfather my stepfather. That was my dad. But I would never. It's just a level of respect.
I truly think that we don't really put the spotlight on stepdads like we're supposed to. And yes, there's stepmoms out there, but it's 20% and not downplaying it. But the majority of the children is in the presence of a stepfather. Now, with that being said, as a stepdad, especially if you got other children, what comes into play? You're said to be the provider and the protector of the home, right? I'm supposed to put these people first. These people are supposed to be first. I'm supposed to protect them. If somebody comes in this house, I said this to you before, Derek, and you can attest to this. I said this before. If somebody comes into this house, I'm supposed to die for this family. I'm supposed to die for this family.
Now,
It is. I'm sorry.
Now, if I can't speak to him, I'm gonna leave the door open.
I'm just saying. You understand what I'm saying? In the middle of the night, somebody creep through. You're supposed to protect this family.
I'm like,
you're supposed to protect this family.
Call your dad. Tell him somebody downstairs.
And that's what I'm about to say. But in the same breath, you putting this family first. This blended family, you putting this blended family first. Will you ever be first in this blended family?
No.
No.
The mother will never look at you before the child. The child will never look at you before the mother. Now, something happened to me. Now I'm gone, and my children is without a father. That's something to think about. Yeah. So I look at the respect for the stepfather stepping in to do what he's set out to do. He should be given a little more respect, because it's not just from a physicality and me protecting this family. This is where my finances is going. This is where my resources is going. Mm-hmm. It's taken away from me taking care of my children. I'm helping you take care of your child or children, which is taken away from me taking away from my child, my children, for whatever reason. Not gonna go into that. Mm-hmm. Christmas, birthdays, whatever it is, time, all of those different things. So I think the respect of the stepfather and mother has increased from what actually is going on. What's going on? And I truly believe that man coming into your life, just imagine if you got 1 or 2 or 3 kids' fathers. Mm-hmm. And it's Christmas. I got to deal with 3 different personalities, 3 different parenting styles, 3 different conversations if anything ever happens. I got to deal with these things.
Mm-hmm.
Me being a provider, I got to deal with vacations and McDonald's and all of these other things. I got to deal with taking care of this household. So I'm not going to ever allow another man to be a voice in my house.
Mm-hmm.
Or you can come get your family.
Absolutely.
This is my house. I'm not a disrespectful person. I'm not a person that will beat a child or whatever. Even if I raise my voice at a point in time or whatever it is, and maybe I may have a vulnerable moment to where I got to raise my voice or argue or whatever. Me and the mom is not going to be 100% all the time. We're going to have our spats. For one, that child shouldn't have been, like Derek said, that child shouldn't have been in that environment. Take it behind somewhere. You couldn't even be in a room when the grown folks was talking.
Right.
You shouldn't be in the room when grown folks is talking.
It wouldn't happen. You already know.
Enough not gonna be in the kitchen while they frying chicken. You know,
Big Mama would have told you. Yeah, Big Mama would have told you, take your behind in the other room or go in your room. Until we finish talking.
Well, number one, Big Mama wouldn't even have had that conversation there, because Big Mama would have went behind closed doors when it was time to say goodnight, and then if Big Mama had a problem, that's when Big Mama and the man and stepdad would have had a conversation, and Big Mama would have figured out how to say what she needed to say, even if it had to be stern or not. If she was against it or for it, they would have talked about it then. That child would have never have known that they even had a conversation. And that child better not have gone to pick up the phone to call her father. Even if Big Mama was cool, was not cool with him putting his hands, saying anything to her, that little girl would have got that hand smacked off of her for even thinking to pick up a phone and bringing somebody else into her house.
Yeah, I get it. So I think from all the videos and the conversations of the stepfather today, I think is a very unique situation because you're not able to discipline the child like it's your child, but you're expected to take care of the child like it's your child. You don't have the same respect and availability and access to the child as you think.
Right.
It's just not the case. So a lot of people, like, and Kyrie, I'm in a lot of men's groups. There's a lot of men of the next generation coming. They're speaking on they don't want it because it's not a thing. It's not, the child is not an asset to them. It's more of a liability as they seeing it. This is not my words. This is the words that I've seen. They're not assets to them. It's not their children. It's not their legacy.
But
it's somebody else's legacy.
If you honestly think about it, it's the truth.
Yes, that's my point. From driving their point, it's not their legacy. So the point is. And I remember somebody was on, we had a conversation like this somewhat before. And I said, if you're a woman with multiple children and a man is coming in and he's a respectful, resourceful man, you need to do more to respect that man. You need to show your appreciation even more. And they had a little pushback. Mm-hmm. I was like, he don't have to do what he's doing for you and your family. He's coming in to help a situation that he don't have to help in. So if he's coming in,
that's like I said earlier, it's a choice. It's that
yes.
a step parent is choosing to come into your life.
Yeah,
so you should so you should respect that. You should have the utmost respect for that man for coming in to take care of a child that's not his, even especially if it's multiple children. especially if it's multiple children.
Right. And here's the thing: we have to stop playing house. We got to stop playing house. If you are not my wife, then that's not my kid. I'm not a bonus dad. I'm a bonus boyfriend.
That's
I'm a
fair.
bonus person. Understanding if we have to start bringing back uh, the household hierarchy and understanding that, as Sean says all the time, getting back to family and understanding if I'm coming into your house, because not my house, I didn't move you in. So obviously I'm coming to your house. Obviously, because there's no way possible that you think you or your daughter is going to be talking to me crazy in my house. So obviously I'm a visitor here. So in understanding that if I'm a visitor here, I don't got much say in the first place. So I could have walked over to Shorty and said, "Hey, you know what? You shouldn't talk back to your mom like that." And the moment our mom would have told me to mind my business, I would have hushed my mouth. I'd have grabbed my light bulbs and I would have left on out. I'm gonna head on home. I'm gonna go home and where I can say
Derek,
whatever I need to say.
Derek, if I may, uh, um, could we post a link for anybody that want to come on? Because it looked like Jai is like just come on if you, because I'm not reading all that. I ain't got.
Nah, she said a lot
Well,
of good
Jaya,
things.
I agree with Jaya with the fact that if you have kids and I deal with you, your kids is my kids, and those kids are my kids for life. But nowadays, you don't. That's not a reality.
That's not. No, that's not.
Because
It's
a lot of people, they deal with these women with kids, they grow this bond with these kids, and then as soon as they break up, then it's like you
And
can't see
that's
my kid no
you'll
more.
never see them kids again.
And that's the issue.
You know,
That's
you
the issue.
don't get
You
to
think
see him
you
no
think do
more.
you think I'm parading any just any woman around my children? Do you think I want to just be around any woman's children? They're
This is
not
true.
my kids
It's true.
because
I've
you're
dealt
not
with
my
women
wife.
that never have met my children. I've dealt with women that never met them.
Like
Because
that's not the
you know,
whole
that's
point.
what
Like
you
I don't
do
even
because
know. I don't know if you were ex murderer or not, but I'm gonna bring you around my children. I'm gonna no. You. I need to first know that you're trustworthy to be around my kids. So it's not even a opportunity for you to even say, okay, that these are my step kids or my bonus kids or whatever you want to call them, because they're
And,
none of
and
those things to you
but
unless
then
we're
at
married.
that, you're not even thinking about the child. Because if I bring you into my life and I bring you around my kids, and then okay, we don't work out and we break up. If you still want to be part of their life, I'm not that type of person. I'm gonna still allow you to be part of their life. But
can I?
But you a unicorn.
No, because
no,
I was gonna
because
add.
that's not fair to that child. I'm not thinking I'm taking myself. You don't got to deal with me, but I'm taking myself out of the equation because if my child seriously had a bond with you and my child look at you as their father or stepfather, whatever, however they look at you, they hold you in high regard. Why would I want to take that away from my child?
That's what I was gonna say. If you get to a point to whereas you're a father figure, that's something different. That's not just your 2 months of dating. That's time put in.
Exactly.
That's time put in. That's not something, small increments of you dealt with this person. Okay, they never met your child. Now you deal with this person. They never met the child. This if somebody was able to create a bond with your child, it was a true and living relationship. It wasn't something small, unless you just one of them ones that just introduce your children to anybody, which I wouldn't
Exactly.
agree with.
Did we
So even the thing that with
And
Jaya,
it's just not right. We have a
did we
video for
see
that
the
too.
did we see there was a video, a reel that was hilarious, but I wish I could have found it because I think it would have been a great thing to add here where uh the the son reached out to his dad's ex-girlfriend on FaceTime and she picked up the phone, and he was like, "Tomorrow's my birthday," and she was like, "I know, I didn't forget. Tomorrow's your birthday." And he was like, "Are you still getting? Are you still going to get me the PS5?" And she was like, "No, I'm not going to get you the PS5 because I'm no longer your daddy's girlfriend. Tell your daddy to go. Tell your daddy to reach out to the girl he cheated on me with to get your PS."
Ah, that was a bit much. That was
Right.
a little too much information.
When she hangs up the phone, the little boy, or did she? I don't even think she hung up the phone yet. I think the little boy looked up and said, "I told you she wasn't going to give me my."
So this was a plan.
Right, this is a plan, but it's just the idea of we have people coming into people's lives who are don't who have not acquired a permanent position but want to
I
do
agree.
permanent things.
I agree.
So
Yeah.
I meet Kyra. Nope, I meet Pink. I meet Pinky. Pinky has children. Pinky has 5 children. Now me and Pinky is chilling. We getting along. And now I want to be the male. I want to be the male figure in Pinky's kids' lives. But yet I have yet to put and become the male figure in Pinky's life and make Pinky a wife. Do we understand where the dynamic is being thrown off? And it's not until we get back in order that we can have something. And I think that's one of the reasons why culturally these are one of the things that we deal with that other cultures don't. Because culturally, they're not allowing a man. They if even in the Hispanic community, if a man comes into the house, that woman is going to treat that man as a husband, and that husband is going to treat that woman as a wife. They're throwing all this stuff together and said, "All right," and then he has to make a decision: Am I going to be a husband? Because I'm not going to be a husband. Let me keep on moving because understanding that we're complete in this family.
Now let me ask you this. All right. I saw a video myself. And it was a video where somebody was at dinner and they had their dinner and the guy got up and he left to go to the bathroom. He went to the restroom. Then he came back and there was a check. But on the check, there were like to-go trays. And it was like, these to-go trays is for my kids.
Mm-mm.
If you dating me, you're dating my kids.
No.
And he like, nah, like this is me and you. But then at the same time, you'll have, not saying that it was that exact woman, but you'll have some women that say that, like the woman in the video, to say, this is me and you. You don't have access to my children.
Yeah.
But then you want me to do for them. What do we do with that? You don't want me to be the disciplinarian or anything like that, but you want me to help take care of them, or you want financial access. Because if I come to the house and let's say my kid is eating McDonald's and I don't bring your kid McDonald's, you probably gonna look at me some sort of way. He ain't wrong, but it would have been a good gesture to do that.
Yeah.
I mean, of course. I mean, like who wouldn't? But if it's not done, he ain't wrong for it. He could even made the phone call like, hey, little man, you know, let me grab something to eat for little man, but that's not his obligation. It's a choice, like Derek said. It's a choice. I mean, so how do we play that part of you want me to be a financial asset or, you know, have some type of obligation financially, but now if something ever was to go wrong, I don't have the same access from a disciplinarian point of view, especially if I'm not a hitter, beater, abuser.
Mm-hmm.
How do we deal with that?
Ugh.
How do we deal with that? You want access when it benefits you, but you don't want to give me the same access as far as a disciplinarian.
Right.
But you can't. It's nothing to deal with. You just can't deal with somebody like that. You just can't do it. It's impossible. And ain't no way in hell. There's no way to deal with situations like that unless that person is willing to change their outlook on what it is to have a step parent in that household. Then there's no way to deal with that. It's just you just got to pack your bag and go. Ain't no way to deal with that. You can't.
Because something's gonna happen. Something is going to happen.
Yeah, it's gonna be a lot of fighting.
Yeah, I mean, meaning the child, even if the child is not even mischievous, something is going to happen to where you're gonna have to tell the child to, sit down, stop running,
because they kids.
sit that down.
You always have
whatever
to
it is.
a child until when whatever age, whether they little kids, middle age, middle school kid, whatever. You no matter what's have to discipline a kid.
Yeah,
I don't be something that's big or small, but there's some type of discipline. But you can't never expect nobody to just provide and give and do all of this stuff for your kids. But then when it's time to discipline them or the tough things happen, then you don't get no say. No, it don't work that way.
A lot of people don't realize how that dynamic,
Nobody should live like a prisoner in their own home.
This is true.
Ain't nobody gonna come. You're not gonna come in my house and think you're gonna tell me what to do in my house. That shit just not gonna work. I don't know what other people do or how y'all choose to do your parenting thing, your step parenting thing, but it ain't going down. Y'all got to go. You, your kid, pack your shit, hit the road.
Don't forget about the light bulbs. Don't forget about the light bulbs.
The step parent thing can be tough, man. I've had some conversations and I've seen some situations to where it's tough, man. That step parent thing is tough. It is. It can be tough. And sometimes it's a beautiful thing. Sometimes it's a beautiful thing, but it can be tough. It can be really, really tough.
It is really tough.
It's a beautiful thing.
And we always just think about, like I said, we always think about the parent, but you gotta think about the kid too.
Right.
You really do. You have to think about the kid too, because that kid is hurt just as well. Especially if you one of them parents who don't give a damn and just be introducing your kids to Tom, Dick, Harry, Mary, Lou, and Sue, and they come. You got men and women just rotating in and out your damn door all the time, getting your kids to like this one, and then as soon as this one don't do what you like, then you got him out the door, and you got the next man coming through the door. That shit ain't cool.
Or you deal with somebody who have a child and you pour your resources into them, you break up, you see the person 10, 15 years later, that child don't even know who you is.
But that's not right. That's why I said if you're part of a child's life for years, whether it be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever, and y'all don't make it, that child should, if that step parent or that person should still be able to be a part of that child's life, because that is a bond. Do you know what type of damage you could do to a kid doing stuff like that?
I think it depends on the length of the relationship and the depth of the relationship.
Of your relationship with that woman or that relationship with that child?
Both. Because you can't have the relationship with the child if you don't have the relationship with the woman.
Absolutely. That's why I say years.
I mean, so
I ain't saying months, but I'm saying years. If you're with somebody years,
years is 2.
You have built, even if it's 2 years, kids could grow a bond with something with a parent's boyfriend.
It depends on the time.
Quickly, and it depends on the age.
Yeah, it depends on it depends on the time you met the child. Like you may meet a child at 4 years old, and by when that kid is 6 years old, now the kid is 18. That kid don't remember you.
Yeah, because you're not around no more.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it depends on the age. It
But
depends on the time.
thing too, if you are allowed to still be a part of that child's life without no beef, no problems, then that child should know you when they're 18. Because at the end of the day, you had an impact on that child's life.
I agree.
So
And
they
that's what
should
people
know
don't.
you at that age.
I agree. But people don't understand that.
Hell, if you get an extra to the graduation, your ass should be standing there with them.
That's gonna be slim to none, but I get it.
I'm just saying, maybe it's just
I
me.
heard you say it.
I
heard you say it.
But it's like people got to make shit so complicated, and it really don't got to be, because you can have a healthy life with your man, that's that parent, that biological father. Y'all all can be very cordial to one another and still take care of the kids, and still let the kids see the kids. It's like, but people got to make shit difficult because you mad about some shit, or you bitter about some shit, or I don't like this person. Oh, that ain't your father, I'm your father. It's ego.
I get it.
It's pride.
And sometimes it's a lot of manipulation. The way a father is probably going through court, or being kept away, but the narrative is he don't want nothing to do with the child, when that's not the case, because he's being held away from legal standpoint. Like, it's a lot that goes into this that a lot of people don't really understand. And some people know, but they follow a narrative. But did we put the link so anybody want to come on and join in? Because I ain't reading all them. Jaya was writing some paragraphs.
I got, when it comes to that, and y'all, and that's a slippery slope, because people say if my kids don't like the person, then we can't continue to be in a relationship. But I think that's a conversation to have with your child. And the only reason why I say that is because you don't know why that child don't like that person.
Yeah, that's I agree with you.
Yeah, like, you have to know what's going on. Don't just automatically say, "Oh, well, my kid don't like you, so I don't want to be in a relationship with you." No, you need to find out why.
A kid may not like the significant other because they still want the other person to be in the family unit like they used to.
Exactly.
And that's where the whole "you ain't my father, you ain't my father." Some people carry that. Some kids carry that. So you can't just use that.
Absolutely. You gotta be careful with that. That's a slippery slope to play with. Because
I agree.
Derek, you want to put the other video on?
Yep.
And playing the stepdaddy role.
Please stop creating bonds with the children of that single mother. Nobody really speaks on this. And yes, stepdads do matter. But if you don't plan on being there for them and holding them kids down, whether or not you and the mom is into it, leave them damn kids alone. It's sad enough the biological father ain't around, so don't put them kids through that same rejection. Some of y'all just want to be around when you and the mom are doing good, and that's fake love. If you got love for the kids, let no one come in between that. Keep it solid or keep it moving.
Exactly how I feel.
That's what I had said.
That's what I had said. Stop playing around with these babies.
You got no attention. If you just trying to smash and dash, then stay focused on the task at hand. Don't bring those kids into this thing. Don't go planning vacations and all that other stuff. Yeah, no, that's we're doing too much.
Hello.
We're doing too much. We're doing way too much. Jai put up about she was working at the courthouse, and a lady planned a family vacation. She had a son, and the guy she was dating had a son, and she planned a family vacation but excluded his son. and the guy got angry and said he wasn't going to go. And my whole thing, and Jai said the lady asked her if she was wrong, and she said yeah. And I don't think she was wrong. This was a family
Explain that
vacation.
again. Explain that again so I can hear it.
So the lady is dating a guy. They both got sons.
Okay.
She plans a vacation, but she doesn't include her person's son.
Okay.
So he got mad and didn't go. So when the lady asked Jai, that's her name, Jai?
Jaya.
Jaya. When the lady asked Jaya, was she wrong? Um, Jaya said yes. And then she goes on to say, if you exclude my kid, we done. And I don't agree with that. I think the girl was completely right. I'm planning a family vacation and I'm inviting you as my person. Your child is not a part of my family. And we got to stop making these byproduct families that are under these knockoff families and trying to bring everybody together when we don't even know if me and you are good.
So it was the woman to the other son.
Say it again. You lost me.
It was the woman that was planning the vacation that didn't invite the other son.
Right.
The only problem I have with that is I understand that there's a thing of the children of the men are not in the equation as much. They're not a fixture as much. Right? They're not a fixture as much.
And they shouldn't be.
What do you mean they shouldn't be?
They should not be. These kids, none of these kids should be being subject to this unless they're a part of a
No. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is when a man is dealing with a woman with children, it's a lot of times said we're a package deal. You deal with the woman and the child more than you deal with the father as a non-residential parent. You probably see his child on the weekend or every other weekend. You following what I'm saying?
Yep.
So the access is different. The access is different. I'm going to assume if the man is planning a vacation and he's taking his kid, and I seen a video to whereas the father said, I'm just going to take my son, but it was him and the son. The girlfriend wasn't involved. But I'm going to assume if there's somewhat unit or something like that, there's going to be a conversation. To whereas if we're if the man say we're going to Disney World and I'm bringing my son, and do you want to go? Her child is going to come into that conversation.
Absolutely.
It's going to come into that conversation. It's just that as the fathers in these situations, you're normally a non-residential parent. So that child is not as a part of the family unit as her child.
All right, let me intervene. So I think it's her side, his side, and then it's the truth, right? So of course she comes in and she's telling everyone the story, but she's making it out to be in her favor as if we know the family dynamic, which we didn't. I mean, you're sitting around a group of women and you're saying things like, oh, I planned a vacation for me, my boyfriend, and my son. Everybody know that her boyfriend got a son the same age. Well, what about Kyrie? Oh, Kyrie's not going because he's bad. And
That's
then
no
she
good.
said like her boyfriend was upset about the fact that she went and booked this vacation and she excluded Kyrie. I feel like she was wrong. A conversation should have been had. She should have said to him, okay, I'm planning this vacation. I really want to have a good time and I don't want the boys fighting. So I don't think Kyrie should go. That's not how that went. She just went and booked. And like 2 days before the trip, he's telling his son to get ready for this trip because there's no lack of communication. You know, who does that?
I don't even think it's a lack of
We do
communication.
everything else together. We co-parent together. They do everything else together. Kyrie, he has joint custody of the little boy. So the little boy is there almost the entire damn summer. So like why would you exclude Kyrie from the family vacation? So yeah, I think she was wrong.
But that's what I'm talking. This is the byproduct nonsense I'm talking about. First of all, we're playing house, and because we're playing house, we have all this gray area.
I agree.
When if we stand on business and stop playing house, like we see in other cultures, you don't go into the Hindu house and see Ali staying at
If
the
I can
same.
insert, and you can continue, if I can insert, not just playing house, but blended house.
Right, but a blend, but you're playing that's double. That's a double-edged sword right there.
Yeah,
I'm
because
playing
because
house, and then I'm bringing
we're the
my
ones
kid
that
into this house, and they don't see gray area. All they see is this home.
yes.
Where if we stand on business, if me and you together,
We stand on business.
if me and you together, we together. We're gonna get married. We're gonna build this home, and we're gonna live in this house together as a blended family. But if me and you not together, and I got a child and you got a child, then we stay in separate houses. Because I'm gonna run my house the way I need to run it. You're gonna need to run your house the way you need to run it. And if you want to go on vacation, we can plan a parallel vacation where me and my son can get a room, you and your son get a room, and we'll go to these places and do these things. And if my child's behavior is getting too out of control, you have every right to walk off with your child and enjoy the vacation because
And
we
I
didn't do
agree
this
with that.
together.
I agree with that 100%. I believe if they had a conversation, that's exactly what have happened. Hotels have adjoining rooms. They could have had two different rooms and did it like that. But to just outright exclude him and not even have the conversation to me was just wrong.
Right.
If I can, and I understand. I understand. I didn't have I don't have enough. I wasn't there. I didn't have enough information to assess it. But I would say this, and can we all agree or disagree? When you're dealing with a woman and the child in residence, right? Your bond is a little different. Your bond is a little different than the mother with the father's child. It's a little different. You're damn near looked at to take on a fatherhood situation. Like, this is my child. Kind of, sort of. Are we in agreement or no?
Yeah.
I'm the father figure. When you're dealing with situations like this, is the mother ever truly looked at the same way? No, because you're dealing with limited time. So your bond with that mother's child is different. Maybe the mother don't look at the child the same way. In reality, not what we feel and what we think. In reality. Because you're with the mother's child, way more than the mother is with your child.
Well, that hasn't been my reality.
I'm talking globally. I'm talking
Well,
globally.
globally, I think you right on point with globally, but I'm cut from a different cloth. So
I get it.
Naturally, I'm not gonna come into any child's life and build some type of bond with them and just when I break up with the dad, I break up with the child. It just doesn't work that
I
way.
agree. I
Not
agree.
with me, but I
Yeah,
know
I agree.
people who have done that. Like now, my biological children don't have any kids, but I'm a grandmother because my husband's kids have kids.
I get
So
it.
I'm a grandmother. I'm not a bonus grandmother. I'm the grandmother. My grandbaby called me this morning at 6:52 on her iPad to tell me she was on her way to school. I'm a grandmother. And I'm gonna be a grandmother. If me and her grandfather don't make it, I'm still gonna be her grandmother. Cause me and her have a bond.
Trust me,
And
I
that's
get it. Trust me, I get it. but I also understand the reality of a lot of households in our community.
Yeah, yeah. And it's the adults. It's always the adults because if you condition your kids to an extent to behave a certain way, like other cultures that we were talking about, they'll behave in that manner. I still believe that it takes a village, whether you in a romantic relationship or a friendship with a male, and he's involved in your child's life, he should have some level of discipline. If I see what would I look like seeing a child get out of line, still curse, just be whatever, and not say anything? Discipline is not about hurt and punishment. It's about accountability.
Yes. Yes.
So my thing is people misconstrue what discipline is. They associate discipline with the fact that a person got a belt and got a beating. That's not discipline. That's a damn beating.
Yeah. Just discipline is more than that. That was my
Discipline is
point.
more than that. Way more than that. Because if you discipline a child, you don't sit them down and have a conversation with them and explain to them why they're experiencing the consequences that they're experiencing, they're gonna walk away from that situation confused.
Yeah.
You
You
have
need
to
discipline.
communicate
You
with
need
kids.
discipline. You need discipline for a diet. You need discipline, for
Everything you do in your life, you
for
need.
for sports. You need discipline for a lot of things than just whooping somebody's ass. And that's my point. We just so much focused on that aspect to whereas no, you need this like to play football, you need discipline.
Mm.
You got to get up at a certain time, you got to work out, you got to that's like
Well, you
little
gotta do
cousin.
that every day to go to work. I'm disciplined. I know I got bills to pay. I gotta get up and go to work.
Absolutely.
I don't want to go,
Absolutely.
but I know I have to, and I'm disciplined and conditioned to go.
So discipline is more than just, and that was my point earlier. Discipline is more than just the physicality of things.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Always.
It's a mindset
It's
as well.
structure.
Structure, absolutely. Absolutely. I love that you said that. It's 100%. It's structure, which a lot of us didn't have or don't have. It's no structure. We just freestyling. We just throwing bars, just spitting. Hey, it's no structure. We just doing what we want to do whenever we want to do it, how we want to do it. And then when it don't pan out the way that we wanted it to pan out, then we're complaining.
I don't know. I was raised in a household of a bunch of women. I didn't have a lot of males in my life growing up. But even though I didn't, we were still taught that the man was the head. We just was taught that. My grandmother and my grandfather, they parted ways, but he was very much still a part of our entire family. He came to all the family reunions. He came to Thanksgiving dinner. He showed up on Christmas. He came and shoveled the snow, and he was in a whole nother relationship. But at the end of the day, we were still his family, so he still felt obligated to take care of us. I think a lot of men, when they leave relationships, they just leave the responsibility that they created in the relationship that they left. And that becomes like, no, he didn't have to come shovel the snow, but for our safety and our protection so that we wouldn't get hurt, he came and shoveled the snow.
As he should.
My grandmother had to go to work. He cleaned her car off. I mean, I think, even though my father was incarcerated, I didn't meet him till I was 23. My grandfather's influence, though, and what we were taught about a man didn't require me to have a dad. And then I got with a guy who had a kid at 15, who had custody of this child at 15. The kid always lived with him. She'll be 31, 32 in March. So being with him and seeing that, I mean, me and him also have a kid, but he's never wavered. Like, even now, my daughter is 30 and he talks to her every day. Because the responsibility of a parent doesn't end when they become adults.
Right.
To a certain extent, we're gonna always be responsible for our kids. Even if we 80 and they 50, we're gonna want to protect them and provide for them, depending on who you are. Some people walk away from responsibility as an easy thing to do because that's what they've seen, that's what they've been conditioned to do.
But understanding that your grandmother and your grandmother set up an environment where your grandfather felt safe
Yeah.
to be a man, and understanding that a lot of households are not setting up environments that are safe, that are set up safely for a man to be a man. When if he
Ain't
did
giving the access.
he did everything that he needed to do,
Mm-hmm.
and because he did the things he needed to do, there was a certain level of respect that always was maintained through that household.
Mm-hmm.
Where
My
in
grandmother was different too, though. My grandfather had remarried. When he got sick and went into a coma, she was at the hospital. She was with him when he died. And I was 22. I asked her the question. I said, he's remarried. His wife is here. She was like, I was his wife first. And when I said till death do us part, I meant it. She
right,
looked me dead in my face and said that. She was holding his hand when he took his last breath. And she died last year at 93. I've never seen her with any other man in my life. She didn't play house. I'm not saying she ain't date or do her thing. She just didn't do it in the house with us.
right,
I never seen another
That's
man
how it should be.
in a house with us. Never.
Like that's just how it should be. Nobody, you shouldn't be bringing people around, just anybody around your kids. Like,
Now my
you
mother,
know,
that was something different. My mother wasn't my grandmother. My grandmother, she wasn't having it.
they live by a different set of rules.
Yeah.
And in this generation, in the way the way these kids and these parents is, God help us all. Because
But
they
I
something
will
different.
say this about
but
my
that's
I've only known her to be in two relationships, not counting the one that she was in with my father, because he wasn't around when I was around. The one relationship she was in for 16 years, um, they got out of, and the next relationship she went into, she was in it until she passed, and that was a 24-year relationship. So, even though it was those two guys, it wasn't a revolving door at the house, and those two individuals, they played, I won't call it the daddy role, but they disciplined us. Like if they seen us doing something wrong and we got out of line, they said something. And my mother, she co-signed it. She supported them. She trusted our well-being to them. Like, it wasn't, and we didn't look at it as if you ain't my father. I would never say that. Like, kids are different in this day and age too.
I
no,
mean,
they're not
And the
different.
no,
parents
no,
promote it.
Parents,
no.
don't blame it on the
The
kids. Don't blame it on
parents,
the kids.
yes,
It's
the
the
Right. I
parents.
parents.
said
It's
I
what
said the
parents
parents
you
promote it. They
knew.
promote it.
You knew good and well if you ever fixed your lip to say
Yeah.
anything like that,
It would
that
have
you
been
wouldn't have a
busted.
lip.
Yep.
You know
True.
that. Now
Absolutely.
kids understand because they're sitting there listening. They're listening and watching how their parents move, and they're watching. Most of these kids know that their mom got three dudes. So I'm not gonna have
Mm-hmm.
respect for you when I know that mom got a dude that come by and brings her Popeyes at 11 o'clock when you go to
The
work.
milkman, the bus driver,
Right.
the
So
mailman.
we know these things. We see these things. And kids are not dumb. You can play this game all you want, but kids catch on.
Yeah.
They know if this person come around every day at the same time, they know that Mr. Charles is not the only one. And they're not going to
Mm-hmm.
sit there and play. They're not going to mess up their bag either because they're going to sit there and know Mr. Charles and Mr. Roger and Mr. Frederico all going to bring them Christmas and birthday presents. So they're not going to be telling on each other, but they're also not going to sit there and have a certain level, that level of respect that you would think if they only saw Mr. Charles.
yeah.
I ain't gonna touch that, but
Mm-hmm.
I would say
But it's
that
it's but that's just how it's supposed to be. Like I could
I
even say, like
get it.
I had a stepfather.
Yeah,
So when we met my stepfather, we didn't even know my mama was dating nobody. Okay. We met him when my mama brought him to the house. But he married my mother. My mother said she wasn't bringing nobody in that house unless it was gonna be her husband.
Mm-hmm.
And that's just what it was. So when he came walking up in the house, and my mother was dating my stepfather for 2 years before she even introduced us to that man. Well, to
Mm-hmm.
my stepfather. We ain't know my mother was even dating. Nothing changed. When my mother said I'll be back, she be back. Who questions their mother?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think what's paramount here is, let's say the first video that we saw, and it was the mother telling the man, you got a relationship with me. ain't got nothing to do with the child or whatever. She got a father. I think that tells the child, I don't have to respect you.
Yeah,
I
but
don't have to
it was
respect
too
you.
much conversation after she said that. Cause I'm with who was it? Corey? Derek. I'm with Derek. Let me get these light bulbs and go about my business. Because after
I
you say
agree.
that,
I agree.
it is no more left to say.
I
It's
agree.
over.
I agree. But if you choose to stay, that
Then you
programs the
hey.
child, that programs the child to
Yep.
feel or think that no matter what I do, I ain't got to worry about you because my mother gonna stick her because you can't do nothing.
Yep.
So
Yep.
it strips the man from any disciplinary, structure.
Yeah, that was real disrespectful.
I mean, so that's a breakdown that a lot of people don't truly understand.
But that's
I
the norm,
mean,
because people think that's normal and it's not.
It's not.
That is not normal. That you shouldn't even be having that type of conversation in front of your child.
Absolutely.
Shouldn't even be in the same room.
Exactly. That should have never happened. And at that, it should have never been recorded.
And that father should never been called.
Sure shouldn't have. Because as soon as you would have picked that phone up, you wouldn't have had a freaking hand.
Well, I don't know who house it was. I think Derek chimed in on that afterwards, but if it's my house, I don't care if you call him or not. It's might as well just hang on up because he ain't no. It's no. I get it. But sometimes some things happen. Ain't no man gonna rule my house.
Yeah,
it's not gonna happen. This is me.
Just like, I don't know if y'all remember the video that I had put on the page with the dude at the barbershop. Yeah. And the guy came in. The guy was coming in for himself to get his haircut, and he see his son sitting there getting his haircut with the stepfather, and had a fit, wanted to fight the man and everything in front of his son. You got the customers was trying to tell him like calm down, whatever. He caused the baby.
He took his child.
Yeah, he called the baby mother on the phone and was, talking junk to the baby mother, and she was like, "You can't see the child because you ain't pay your child support." And he was like, "Oh, I can pay that little bit of money," and the stepfather in the background saying, "Then pay it. If that's all it takes, then just pay it." And he took his son. But did you have to act like that in front of your son? Because if you was going in there to get your hair cut, why you didn't call to go pick up your own child so y'all both could go get your hair cut?
You don't know their dynamic. I wouldn't touch that. You don't know their dynamic.
No, we can touch it.
You shouldn't be in no barbershop going off on somebody that's taking care of your child.
No, I get it. I get it.
This clearly
Hold up.
You don't go off
what
on somebody
you said of another man ruling your house. Because if I give you leeway as the father, right? You are the father. This is your child.
Okay.
I'm gonna respect you as such.
Okay.
But there's a certain level of respect that you're gonna have to give back as I am the man of this house. And I'm gonna give you ample enough time, especially for a son, to do what you need to do as a father with your son. But when it comes to a certain level where now you're not doing what the things that are needed to stand up to the expectation of how I move and how I look, because I'm not going to carry myself a certain way. I'm not going to be dressed good, smell good, got my hair cut, and then our son is looking less than.
I get it.
I agree 1,000%.
I get it, but like I said, we don't understand or we don't know their dynamic. We don't know their visitation schedules. We don't know if that father do ask, can he take? Hold up, let me go. We don't know if that father did ask, can I take my child to, because I understand the family court system. I understand the family court system. I understand how some people play against other people. I understand how some information is given, but some information is kept away from. I understand all of these different things. To whereas you can make a father or mother look like shit, total shit, and it's a manipulation play. It's a manipulation play. Even if this person don't have all their child support, but they ask, well, if you ain't got all the money, you can't see your kid. We've seen videos like that.
Right.
Yeah.
We've seen videos like that. So I don't want to shape it to where it's just one type of dynamic. No, there's a lot that go on in these family dynamics. It's a lot to whereas the two men never met each other, never even sat down to have a conversation. Mm-hmm. Now, Derek, you walk into a barbershop and your child is there. Mm-hmm. You're looking at it like, who the hell is this dude? Mm-hmm. Or we ain't even have a conversation to whereas, this is okay. I don't know you. You may be a reckless dude. You may be a part of the street life. You may be some things that I don't agree with. It's a lot that go into these things that a lot of people don't understand, and we view it from our couch.
Yeah, but do you act like that?
If
you walk into a barbershop and you see your son sitting in the chair getting his haircut, and it's another dude's here, and that dude took your son to go get his haircut, do you act like a uncontrollable animal?
Me? Probably not. But I'm going to, if I see my
mature person, because your child is present, and call your child's mother.
I get it. I'm not that man. I get it. I'm not that man, and I may not deal with it the way that he dealt with it. But at the same time, I'm not going to convict him for his emotions, his feelings, and his emotions, because I don't know what else is surrounding that. She could be throwing shit in his face. It's a lot that goes on in this stuff. And we view clips of videos and say, oh, this is what it is, or this is what I think, or this is what I feel. We don't know what these people been dealing with. But I know if I walked into a barbershop and I seen my son with somebody I don't know, I'm going to be like, who is this dude? Or why you got my kid here?
And that's okay.
I could have been asking, hey, let me take Junior to go get a haircut. I'm going to get a haircut. Let me pick Junior up to get a haircut. And you've been saying no because this is not your visitation day. Mm-hmm. But then I see my child at the barbershop with another dude. Mm-hmm. That may trigger you. Oh, I'm asking, can I take my kid to get a haircut, but you let this dude? And I don't even know this dude like that.
As the dude,
I don't know. I'm just saying.
No. As the dude in the house, if I'm the dude in the house, I ain't got nothing to do with what she told you. But if you come into that barbershop and you come into that barbershop respectfully, I'm gonna stand down.
Exactly.
Because this is your child.
Because that dude didn't do nothing.
I agree. I'm gonna stand down because the step parent that took the child to go get his haircut, he wasn't acting stupid. You know what he did? I get it. And I would have been the same way because
he said what he said. He said that his father wanted to take him. She told him no. But did he stop him from picking up his child? No. What?
And I agree.
Like,
I agree.
He was like, no, that's that man's child. That's his father.
I agree.
His child.
And I would have probably dealt with it somewhat the same way because it seemed like it was more to this story than what maybe I was told. Mm-hmm. Because if this man ain't shit, why is he acting that way?
Right.
It could be that he's jealous of me, or it could be that he wants more to do with his child's life, but she's keeping him away from the child. Mm-hmm. It could be a lot of different things. What needs to happen is, like I said, they get into a room and sit down.
Absolutely.
And create boundaries.
Absolutely.
When you don't have boundaries and you have mystery and you have pettiness and you have disrespect, it's just going to brew over into a bunch of nonsense.
And I don't disagree with you.
You got to have boundaries. You got to have the conversation. You have to.
I don't know. I've been in a lot of interesting situations. I done
Me
had
too.
baby mothers, baby fathers, because I adopted 3 children. So when I adopted 3 children, they all had the same mother, but they all had different fathers. So now I got a baby mother and 3 baby fathers. And I'm
That sounds
all
crazy.
for, huh?
I said, that sounds crazy.
That is crazy. So
No, I
now,
said, no, meaning it sound crazy. Not saying that it is.
no, it really is crazy though, because now I'm in the middle because I do believe that even though children are removed from their biological parents, for whatever reason, they should still be afforded an opportunity to get to know them because people change over time. So to just
I agree.
uproot them from the lives that they know, and especially if you can see that the parents are making strides, but just dealing with all of the stress that comes with somebody else's situation and they always questioning or have issues with the way that you decide to raise their children as if you weren't the one that stepped up, kept them together, and is doing your best. Now, I'm not saying I'm the best parent in the world, but what I will say is that I do my best. And when I make a mistake, I own it. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But if I'm right, give me credit. Don't try to tell me about what I did the last time. And it was a lot of that going on. One of the kids, I was in a kinship legal guardianship with his father because his parental rights were not terminated. He lived in North Carolina. We had a court order. He had every other holiday and every summer. The first year that we went into this agreement, he complied with those terms. The next year, because he was married and his wife felt like his son was not on the same level as the children they had together, she didn't want him down there. And he
Mm.
allowed this. He allowed this. So I mean my level of respect for mothers who interfere with fathers in their relationship with their kids is zero. I have zero tolerance for it. I think when a man has a kid, whether he pays child support or not, if he wants to be involved in that child's life, then
Let
you
him.
should promote it.
Yeah, the child support
Because
ain't
it's
got
not
nothing to
a
do with it.
child support don't have anything to do with that nurturing and that guidance and that support that a father can give a child.
I, disclaimer, if they don't have it. If you just being an asshole, and you just don't
Right.
want to take care of your kid, to me, that's a little something different.
Right.
Yeah.
So, that was just the kinship legal guardianship with the other 2 kids. One girl, her father voluntarily surrendered his rights so that he didn't have to pay child support. So they allow him to surrender his rights to me, and the mother also surrendered her rights to me. So she became eligible for adoption right away, and I adopted her. The third one, I was in the fight of my life. The fight of my life. Now, both of these individuals are substance abusers, and they're fighting me for custody of this baby. She was 2. And I'm like, what? So the hell with your other 2 kids. You just gonna fight me for this little one because you still connected to that father. So not only do I have problems with sometimes the fathers, I also have a lot of problems with these mothers. I watch my brother with his baby mothers and the shit that they do, both of them do the same shit. You ain't pay child support. You can't do this. You can't do that. Or you ain't doing enough. All kinds of stuff. I ain't talking to you because you want to go to back to school night. My brother and baby mother literally stopped him from having a relationship with his daughter because he wanted to go to back to school night and she didn't want him to go.
That's
Who
crazy.
does that?
Yeah, that's crazy.
So sometimes it's
Yeah.
these women. Sometimes it's these women. These women be out here, they be putting all kinds of stuff. Then she put on social media and tagged her daughter in and said, "You don't need your father. I'm your mother and your father." So I called her up on the phone. I said, "Take that shit down now."
I
Like,
got a
what are
question.
you
I got a
talking
question for
about?
you. I got a question for you.
Yeah,
Yeah. Do you got a lawn?
yeah,
You got a grass? So they about to tear your damn grass up. You keep talking.
The
Don't
same way they tore
because
my
you gonna
grass
find
up.
Sean, don't be trying to put your issues on Jaya.
Listen,
They
don't
like to
nobody.
tear
First
your
of all,
damn
don't
grass
nobody
up.
even know where I live at, so they ain't
The
nobody.
same way they tore my grass up, they about to tear your lawn up. You keep talking like this.
Yeah,
No, I've
they
been through
definitely tore
some.
your damn lawn up.
I've been through some things though with children and their parents, so I'm speaking from
I get
experience.
it. I
And
get it.
and Sean, you mentioned knowing about the court system. I know about the court system too, and I
I,
don't suggest anybody invite the court system into their relationship.
yeah. Yeah.
If
And that was in no way of saying you didn't. It's just, understanding the court system and legalities, the law, knowing the law, it's a different monster. It's a different
it
beast.
is,
You get some people saying, ain't nobody gonna never tell me what to do about my kids. And then boom, the courts get involved. That's what you thought.
they stay
I have a
involved
question.
forever.
Do step parents get rights?
Yes, yes, they do.
I know of I know of grandparents' rights.
Oh, you mean in the court
Um,
system?
you talking about court system, right?
Yeah.
I know of grandparent rights,
It
and a step parent can be liable for child support if the residential parent asks for a married spouse to pay. In New Jersey, yes, you're liable.
Yeah, but that's very rare and
It
oftentimes
is.
doesn't
It
go through.
is. And it's rare because a lot of people don't go for it.
Yeah.
It's actually legal
It
that if
is.
you're
It's
married,
legal.
if
It's
if,
legal.
if yeah, if you're married and let's say your husband or your wife make more money,
Yeah.
that child's parent that's residential can take your married union
Yeah.
to
Uh-huh.
court to get
I mean,
more child support.
and that's only because the institution of marriage says that now you're one. So if
Yeah,
the household composition is two incomes in that household, the expectation is one. And it's not gonna be excluded from your child support obligation because they don't it's no separation there. Now when you
yeah.
boyfriend and girlfriend, then no, it doesn't apply. But when you get
This,
married,
yeah,
then
this
yeah,
is true.
you become obligated.
The same way that if you're a non-residential parent, if you're a non-residential parent and the residential parent gets married,
Mhm.
that income can
It
go
could
into
it
play
could
as well to where
be
your child support
is
as a
reduced.
non-residential parent can drop because you now have more income in your household.
Mhm.
So
But
it says here.
if that parent and the step parent let's get divorced, does that step parent get rights like visitation and stuff like that if they get
Some
a divorce?
states.
I've never seen it, never dealt with it.
I
So
mean,
I'll say that.
I'm looking
legally,
at it now.
it's no statute. Like it's legally no, but anybody can petition the court. The court is the public office.
I, I,
Anybody
I'm
could get
I'm
there and petition the court.
I'm gonna say it probably would because of lifestyle and
Well, because my thing is this: if you're married and then your
Custody and
income
visitation. So it says medical decisions. Step parents cannot consent to medical treatment for a stepchild except in emergency.
for visitation.
Educational decisions. They don't have any say. Custody and visitations. Step parents have no right to custody or visitation
oh
unless the
wow.
biological parent objects. But
Crazy.
some states allow step parents to petition for visitation if the biological parent and step parent are divorced.
All right, so
Mm.
let me tell you about New Jersey courts with the
That's
step parent
different.
thing.
Because New
That's
Jersey is a little different. New
there.
Jersey
New
is a little different.
Jersey is a little bit different. So, in the state of New Jersey, step parents don't have any legal rights to children that they've been involved with.
Yeah, I've never
But
dealt with it. I
but
have
what
no
they
clue.
can do is they can petition the court. And this is the thing about the court is when you petition the court, like tomorrow I could go down there and sue Roshan. I could go sue Kyra. I could go sue you, Derek, tomorrow. All three of y'all could be on the same suit.
Don't you be
But
giving nobody no damn ideas. They already
no,
told my damn law
listen,
now.
They gotta
Charlie.
find me.
So I could sue y'all. I'm gonna submit my paperwork, pay my fee. When it gets upstairs to chambers, whether or not it goes into the courtroom is decided by the judge. It's the same thing with family court. Anybody could petition the court for any reason. I want visitation rights of my stepkids. They're gonna ask you to fill out all this paperwork, and based on what you say in your filing, like I have an established relationship with these kids, I
Yeah, they're
provide
gonna
for
make the money.
them. They're going to consider it, and they're
Yeah,
going
they're
to
gonna make
bring
the money. Yeah, because
they're
you gotta
gonna
pay
bring
for it.
all parties into the courtroom.
Yeah,
Y'all gonna participate in the mediation. If y'all can't come to an agreement, then it's gonna go before the judge, and he's gonna decide for you. And then it's
yeah,
gonna become a court order, which is enforceable by law. So no,
yeah.
it may not be any laws that say that you can do that, but there's ways to get around that non-law.
I'm gonna sue Deacon for child support and those extra kids he put on me.
I didn't. I said pink, not pinky. So if you wanna take, it's all in the wording. And right now I'm about to sue you for defamation of character.
Ah, shit.
And ask me how I know all of this stuff. When I was working at the courthouse, a litigant came in. I worked in the civil division, not family, but a litigant came in. He gave me his paperwork and he wanted it stamped. I stamped his paperwork with the date. He asked for a copy. I gave him a copy. And then he wanted me to sign off saying that his case was going to go forward. So I told him I wasn't going to sign off on that because it was for a judge to decide. Do you know he added my name to the suit and sued me too? And then I was on litigation hold with the court. I
Wow.
ain't never did nothing to this man. He was suing a judge. He added me to the suit and sued me too. I had to get counsel from the state and went on litigation hold for 3 years.
Mm.
Wow.
You could sue anybody for anything. He was suing the police
That's like,
department, the
yeah,
mayor,
that's
the
like a restraining
Hawthorne
order.
municipality.
Yeah. That's like a restraining order. You can go downtown right now and file a restraining order right
No,
now.
you can't. No, you can't.
Yes, you
No,
can.
you
Yes,
can't.
you can.
No, you can't.
Let me finish. Yes, you can. You can sign. You can call. Let me say it. You can call a unit right now and get a temporary restraining order. You will get 10 days to go to court. You have to then go in the court to say why this person you need a restraining order from, and the judge will say whether you get it or you don't. I've been
Now,
in there.
did
I've
you
been in
do
there
this?
a
Did you
hundred
do
times.
this lately?
Yeah, I've been in there 100 times.
Yeah, but lately though.
Well, not today.
No, but when was the last time
Like,
you
yeah,
had
I
that
just left there,
experience?
matter of fact.
No, seriously, when was the last time you had that experience?
Maybe a couple years.
Okay, so it's not like that anymore.
What is it? Let me know.
Criminal justice reform, you cannot just call and get a temporary restraining order. It
Then
happens.
let me know. Let me know.
They
What is it now?
speak to the judge that night because of criminal justice reform. You can't just go down there. They're not gonna give you no court date for 10 days. They're not gonna give you no TPO. You're gonna go in there and you're gonna try to file, and then they're gonna call the judge and get him up out of his sleep. And he gonna make the determination based on whatever you put down on them papers that they read to him over the phone. And if it don't sound right to him, he ain't gonna give it to you.
And that's where
So
municipal.
yes, that's municipal. Because what happens with TPOs is that it goes on people's records. People be having stuff going on with DCP and P, school system. Like if you're trying to be a teacher, they gonna find out that you had a TPO, and even though
Well,
it's not permanent,
if you're in family court, that's not going municipal. Well, it
it's gonna
wasn't.
come
It
up.
what? It wasn't. No, what I'm saying is because I've never been myself. I've never been in municipal 111 Broadway for a temporary restraining order hearing. I've always been in 401 Grand.
Okay.
It was always probation and family.
Yeah, it's still changed.
That's why I said it hasn't been a couple years, but I've never been in 111 Broadway for a temporary restraining order. Never been. It was
And
always
now,
for a 1 grand.
since we in the age of the virtual movement now, they everything, no matter what time it is, can be heard because they do things through Zoom. Like I'm telling you, it's judges that are on call all night long.
Oh, I've been in a situation where they called a judge and I had to deal with the situation. Never for a temporary restraining order.
Yeah, they done crack down on TPOs because it
And
becomes a permanent part of your record.
and it was for family court situation.
Right, right, right.
So that maybe because it was family court is the reason why it went into 401.
Mm.
Maybe that was the reason. It wasn't criminal. It was family. Because that's the way that we always played it. You know, when it's time for you to pick the child up, oh, well, such and such and such. And then you go to court and then they throw it out. You get what I'm saying?
Right. So it's two different types of orders. So it could be a TPO or it could be a no contact order. Normally, when the individuals involved don't have a family relationship, then it's a no contact order. They use restraining orders when you've either been in a relationship or if it's a sibling or some type of family member or something like that. I forgot how it's broken down. But normally, if it's not relationship, like people try to file restraining orders on people that they don't like in their neighborhood, that they argue with, neighbors.
Yeah.
Y'all not
Yeah.
family, that's a no contact order. So I've seen those cases get thrown out because they want everybody, the courts try to get everybody to mediate their issues. Everywhere
Yeah.
you go is always a mediation. Civil, never in criminal, but civil, family is a mediation in municipal
Especially
court.
more recent because it gives the judge less work.
It gives them less work to do, and plus people get to decide the type of contact that they have, because
Yes.
I mean you invite the court system into your life, which means you're opening the door for them to control your situation.
Yes.
So by offering mediation, it really, with a person that's not biased sitting there, give making sure everybody has an opportunity to state whatever they need to state.
Yeah.
So, when people can't come to an agreement in mediation, then it goes before the judge. And even when it goes before him, they still not privy to what happened in mediation. It's never even brought up or discussed. He don't have time for that. All he knows, these two people is in here, one don't want contact and the other one do. More than likely, he ain't gonna give you a restraining order if his kids involved, because now if you get a restraining order against him, he can't see his
You
kids.
can't see the kids. And that's the game that some people play.
Yeah,
That's the
definitely.
game that
I
some
agree with
people play.
that. I've seen that a lot.
Yes.
I've
They'll
seen that a
they'll
lot in
do
family
they'll
court.
do and that's my point. They'll do the temporary restraining order because all I got to do is call up the cops and the cops will come and I tell them, oh, well, he said this or she said that. So now when it's time for you to come to pick up your child for visitation, you can't get them because you got this temporary restraining order.
Right.
So that was a game that I seen. Like I got Fathers for Fathers. There's a program that teaches fathers, the family court system.
Mm-hmm.
So that was a play that a lot of people were playing.
Yep.
That okay, visitation is Saturday. Okay, I'm gonna call for a unit Saturday morning.
Mm-hmm.
He or she is supposed to pick the child up at 12. I'm gonna call a unit to come at 10. I'm gonna explain that, oh, maybe he said he was gonna beat me up, or she said she was gonna, do this. And then you sit there and you write it all out and they say, okay, you can't have any contact. The police say you can't have any contact.
Yep,
And then now you got to go to the court to go before the judge to explain your case. I've seen that a million times.
And sometimes it don't even be about the kids. It be about that female or that male.
They don't want me no more. I
It
don't
be,
want this person no more. Yeah.
yes, it be out of spite. It be so spiteful, and it's disgusting. It robs the children. It really robs the kids. It ain't hurting
Yeah,
nobody in the long run but the kids.
I agree.
What it's all about. It's about the children. But on that note, we have gone over our hour. This was a great
Well,
podcast.
when y'all gonna talk about Kamala Harris? When y'all gonna have that night?
Tomorrow.
No, it ain't no
know.
candid conversations tomorrow. What you talking about?
Thank you. I don't know what he was talking about. He must be doing his own private show.
Derek
Yeah,
always falling asleep. Wake up.
Derek
Do you-
tired.
Do you
Derek
understand that it's 10:55 right now?
I do.
is Derek tired.
Derek was reading.
I
Mhm.
was
That's
I was
why I
literally
said
looking
what
at
I
it.
said.
Right. He was resting his eyes, as my mother.
No, I wasn't really asleep. I was literally on my phone, but
Mhm.
trying not to go to sleep.
All right. So when y'all talk about Kamala or Kamala, as the orange person would call her, I want to be on.
Most definitely.
You definitely can be on.
All right.
So we're gonna say thank you to Ed. Thank you, Jai, for coming on and joining the conversation. And thank you to the viewers for joining the conversation. We appreciate you every Tuesday, even though we late every damn Tuesday. But
I don't know. I think y'all should have me on more often. I might become a permanent part of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Me and Sean to be
Mhm.
arguing every week.
How you gonna throw me out there like that? What's
did you see how fast Deacon left?
Oh
Why
my
always get thrown to the
Really,
wolves? I'm the sweetest person on this show.
You are, but you still, it's still debatable. Some of your thoughts.
Oh God.
Let's not over
You know?
exaggerate.
What I do
You
like
think
about
people
you
think-
though is that you're a manly man. Like I really, really appreciate that about your character. And you won't downplay it. Like you don't shy away from being that way. And I appreciate that. Like I don't get any feminine energy when I listen to you or read your posts or you know what I'm saying? Like and I appreciate that. Now Derek, I don't follow him. I don't know what he got going on. But Sean, I do look at you and I see your orientation. Like I really like what I'm seeing. But sometimes
Appreciate you.
though, I'll be like, Be
How
like,
you gonna give me? You gonna give me
can't
the
agree with
props and
all
take
that.
it back?
Because you're a human. You human. So sometimes your stuff don't be I just can't agree.
That's fine.
But
We ain't
most
gonna
of the
agree with
time, I will
everything.
say
Okay,
you
to
be
agree
on
to
point. Now,
disagree.
when you start talking about statistics, now, I'm an analyst. So I got some shit about statistics that I just don't agree with statistics all the time. It depends on who you're asking.
This is true.
And statistics can't represent the whole, it's just a part. You cannot live by those things.
All
Don't
That's
be
not
guided by
true. That's
statistics.
not true. But that's another
Oh,
day.
see?
That's another day.
All right.
That's
All
another
right,
day. We'll
guys.
get into it.
All
All
right.
right.
Thank you again, Jaya, for joining the conversation. We appreciate your presence.
Get down. Okay. Have a good night.
All right, you too.
Take care.
Bye.
All right, everybody. We thank y'all. We will be back Tuesday, same time, a tad late, but the same time, same place. Peace, love, and blessings.